Hi John, this is what I planned to say yesterday, so I'll just go again. Okay, so I'd start off with your CV up here, so just even write the word CV in big font size as you have, and then just put your name here. And you can put in brackets your B.SC, mechanic, electronic, whatever the full titles are, pending June 2020. So they know straight away you're almost a graduate of your engineering degree. So address is fine, date of birth you don't need it, email you do need, but just be careful of the DCU one because that's probably going to expire in a year. So you might, if you have a Gmail one, it's probably better, so that you just get in the habit of checking your Gmail or whatever your private email account is, and your mobile number. And then if you have a LinkedIn URL, stick it in here maybe, just after this. So that'll kind of really help them get exactly where you are, where you're from, all that kind of stuff. So down here, so sometimes I would change this to, instead of personal statement, maybe personal profile, but it's much of a muchness. Okay, I'd probably get rid of this line here because I don't think that's really necessary. I think it's better to have these sort of things: dedicated, adaptable person who works well under pressure, and then maybe just get rid of this bit here as well, so that better multiple minds. Just the fact that you enjoy working as part of a team, I think, is important. Okay, so the next bit is, if you were somebody who had graduated in 3 or 4 years experience, I would suggest you do as you've done, which is your career history. However, the reason that you'll be getting this job is because of your education. So I'm just going to scroll down to your education bit. Okay, so start with your education, and then just even, you don't need to have third level, but Dublin City University, Glasnevin. So on target for a 2-1 honours in mechanical engineering, and give the full title again, BSc, whatever. Now you've got course highlights, maybe another word for that would be modules covered, and you can include these. So unfortunately yours is 3 pages long and you need to get to 2, so there's nothing stopping you copy and pasting some of this stuff and putting it up here. Certainly keep the Lean and Six Sigma because that's a really current thing, and obviously product design. And obviously if you're going for a job with a lot of mechanics in it, you might re-emphasize the mechanics. If you're going more with product development, so it's 5, 6, 7 modules is more than enough, but you might just chop and change them with every job that you're going for to make it more current to the job itself. And then Our Lady Secondary School, that's the way you supposed to be in there, and then your points. If you did particularly well in a particular subject, so maybe you did very well in maths, you might include it, but if not, yeah, leave it there, and then just small l, big L and big C here as well. Okay, before I leave that, you have some good projects here, so I think it's good to include that, but they're probably too long, so you need to reduce those and maybe look at what the end impact of your thesis was. And then this one here is really good. The fact that you did so well here is really important and well done. So maybe came second in the race, so maybe 2nd out of 10, 2nd out of 6, whatever it was. Okay, so if you rejig those, and then the next thing is going to be your career. Okay, so you could maybe, if you wanted to have relevant job experience, and then put Kingspan Insulation, give the full title, and then I would probably suggest just picking this up and putting it over here. So if you just said Castle Blaney, and then put the dates, it'll just give you back a line or two. That's gone a bit funny on me, but you know what we're talking about. And you don't need to say it for 6 months because it's set up here, and don't need to say 3rd year, so you can get rid of all that. And then you worked along with engineers. So maybe just explain what Kingspan Insulation do. Obviously you and I know, but they won't know. They won't know how big a company it is. I'm assuming that it's ISO 9000, 14000, 18000, maybe 21000. So include all that because that shows you can work to SOPs and all of that. Okay, so this is kind of all fine. If you can include any numbers or anything like that, that'll be no harm. And then here you could do part-time work. So again, what this tells me, and again put in the addresses for all these, and the same with the dates across the way. What that tells me is that you must be good or you wouldn't be taken back either in Spin and Wheel or in Centra. So I think that's all good, but you can reduce some of that. And again, you don't need to put in all this because it's going to be obvious from this line here. Okay. So, and the same with Centra. So you could maybe extend them a little bit, maybe working as part of a team of 5 people. You could talk about flexibility, often work 10-hour shifts, might have worked 20 hours over the weekend, just to show that that's what you got from that. And then that you developed good social skills and customer service skills. Okay, so now skipping down to probably what's one of the more important areas is, well, actually second most important. So you can put down technical skills here, and anything else, any software packages that you learned either in college or as part of working in Kingspan. So this is the bit that I was talking about. So this should have, I will put this all down in here and change this then to, normally I call this hobbies, interests and achievements, or you can put that the other way around. So so I was oops, the daisy, a part of various winning teams for football, including the county senior medal. So that's brilliant, and that's all brilliant, right? So you could put that up first, I think, and then any success you've had in hurling or in soccer, and maybe just get rid of this because that sounds a little solitary, whereas the other things sound more sociable. And I've also done some drama, so you can keep that in if you want. Just watch some of the spelling, performing instead of preforming. But if there was anything maybe in college that you did, or even any other things that you feel you've achieved, John, so for example maybe fundraising, or if you ran a 5k, anything where you're giving back, because if this is a long time ago, you want to put stuff in that's more relevant. So that's all good. And then your references. So that's fine. You only need 2 really. So you give 2 that you feel would be will say the best things about you. And again, if you need space, you could just do that. Okay. And even you could just even do that. And now you have it nice and tight, because you do need to get this to 2 pages. Okay, so I think if you make those tweaks, like all I'm doing is trying to make it better than it is good as it is, you've good content, you've good words, stuff like that. It's just to really make it sell you as best as possible. Now there's one final thing to be aware of, and it's a thing called a STAR story. So what the STAR stands for is the situation that you found yourself in. T is the task you were asked to do. A is the action that you took, and R is the result. So what you're trying to do there is you're trying to, if you can at all, put in some STAR stories in your work experience, which is up here, particularly this one here. And what I mean by a STAR story is maybe there was a project that you worked on that you got in on budget. You got in on time, the quality was very high, the manager was very pleased, and you did it as part of a team of 5. If you include something like that in there, what that does for the interview is they say, oh, you mentioned you worked as part of a team, can you tell me about that? And then you can articulate it using the STAR story method. So consider if there was anything here that you felt kind of proud about, or that you were, was an important part of the job, and see could you sort of turn it into a STAR story. Okay, so hopefully this time this will go, and if you want to send it back to me, great, and if you don't, that's fine too. Listen, very best luck to you if I'm not talking to you, and I hope you'll have a fantastic CV as a result of this. Best of luck. Bye now.